This is alternative political analysis, and this video will be on the subject of Saol Nua. Now, Saol Nua is Republican Sinn Féin's economic policy document. The name means a new way of life in Irish Gaelic, and it starts out explaining the historically high unemployment rates in Ireland. Now, the Free State record is 19% unemployment in 1991, which was under Charles Haughey's third Fianna Fáil premiership, and the record unemployment in the six counties was 17.2% in 1986, and that was after the Assembly had collapsed, I believe. And 25% of households in the Free State live in poverty, and 20% of people in the Free State live in poverty, according to the Economic and Social Research Institute. And this brings us on to the UN Human Development Report of 2003, where it estimated that 9.3% of people born in the Free State will not live to the age of 60, and it said that 22.6% of people in the Free State were illiterate, and that 12.3% of people living in the Free State live in poverty. That contrasts with the 20% figure from the Economic and Social Research Institute, but anyway, it's somewhere between 12.3% and 20%. And it moves on to the subject of EU membership, which has led to untaxed corporate profits. It has led to Irish fisheries being decimated by EU fleets, and Saol Nua makes the claim that the Free State's social protection spending is the lowest in the European Union, and it bemoans that there is no Irish currency, and rightly so in my opinion. And it points out that because there is no Irish currency, that Ireland cannot set its interest rates or exchange rates. That means it is wedded to the fiscal and monetary policy of the EU. And Saol Nua also bemoans the free movement of capital, which has led to the foreign ownership of the Irish financial system, thus the foreign control of the Irish economic system. And Saol Nua has a policy of decentralisation, which seems analogous to Lenin's ideology of all power to the Soviets. Interesting. And Saol Nua informs us that over 2 million Irish people have emigrated since 1916. So, to put that in layman's terms, over 2 million people have left this country in the last 100 years. And to continue with this, I will quote James Connolly. "If you remove the English army tomorrow and hoist the green flag over Dublin Castle, unless you set about the organisation of the Socialist Republic, your efforts would be in vain. England would still rule you through her capitalists, through her landlords, through her financiers, through the whole array of commercial and individualist institutions she has planted in this country and watered with the tears of our mothers and the blood of our martyrs. England would still ruin you rule you to your ruin, even while your lips offered hypocritical homage at the shrine of that freedom whose cause you had betrayed. And that was the Dublin Lockout speech from James Connolly. And this brings us on to Saol Nua basic values: a concern for people, a pluralist society, autarky and self reliance, people having greater control of their lives, a participatory democracy, a national community of communities, and non wasteful and sustainable use of our resources, and a cultural and national identity which will itself will underpin the concept of national sovereignty. And Saol Nua proposes a moratorium on state debt payments. He asked to give Ireland time to accrue the resources needed to pay back such a huge and cumbersome burden on our people. And it proposes investment in intermediate technology which would help the small and medium enterprises of this country. And it also advocates progressive tax and wealth redistribution through said progressive tax. Moving on. And Saol Nua makes another important proposition: an Irish National Health Service, and it would be based along the classic Attlee Bevan model, which would be similar to what Cuba has. And this brings us on to another important issue. In Saol Nua, it said that a new Ireland would provide full-time public childcare because this would help stabilise families, and who wants a strong family and a stable society? Anyway, moving on. Comprehensive public education. Remember the illiteracy rate I read out at the start of the video? And this brings us on to another topic. Saol Nua proposes national service. And believe it or not, this is one of the more popular policies in Saol Nua. And Saol Nua also articulates how to ensure equality of opportunity. Note well, that was not equality of outcome, it was the equality of opportunity. And Saol Nua also proposes a comprehensive network of public transport. It also promotes the Irish language being the basis of Irish identity, and it proposes an independent foreign policy, and it is based on E.F. Schumacher's Small is Beautiful, which can be summarized in the phrase by E.F. Schumacher: need economics as if people mattered. And when all is said and done, Saol Nua proposes that worker-owned cooperatives will be the backbone of the Irish economy.